You don't want love, you want to be chosen. You've heard it all before. Stop chasing, set boundaries. But that advice really never worked, did it? That's because no one tells you why it's happening, why you feel safest with the people who hurt you, why silence from them feels louder than the kindness from anyone else. Your brain thinks rejection is danger. Your nervous system is addicted to unpredictability, and your ego doesn't want connection. It wants validation. We were raised on a generation of emotional noise. We were raised on disappearing dads and performative love, on online validation masquerading as intimacy. We've internalized a very, very specific survival strategy. If I can be chosen, then maybe I'm safe. But we're not safe, we're broken. And understanding why we're broken is the first step to putting us back together. That's why I created this extensive thought map, an attempt to put together why our generation feels so fractured. I've drawn from psychology, neuroscience, and centuries of philosophy to map out the systems beneath our pain in dating and relationships. Where it really started. To understand why you crave being chosen, you have to go back to your first conceptions of love, not to adulthood, but in the earliest moments, you started forming meaning around care. The beliefs you carry now were shaped long before you had words to describe them. You learned that love wasn't something given, it was something earned, that being loved required being easy, pleasing, and useful. From the beginning, you were taught if you want to be safe, you have to be chosen. This didn't begin with romance, it began with your mom and your dad. Maybe your mom gave you more love when you were polite, quiet, or helpful, like when she bragged about your manners to your friends, but went cold when you got angry in private. Maybe your dad gave compliments when you got good grades, but stayed distant when you needed comfort. Or maybe your dad left. Maybe he disappeared quietly. Maybe he showed up in pieces. Studies in developmental psychology, especially in the work of Mary Ainsworth, show that children from divorced and emotionally inconsistent homes are more likely to develop anxious, preoccupied attachment styles. A rocky early foundation in life disrupts a child's ability to form secure relationships in the future, and instead wires them for uncertainty, self-blame, and overfunctioning in relationships. So you adjusted. You became helpful, smart, beautiful, but quiet. You became lovable, which means you stopped being your full self. Psychologists call this anxious attachment. You learned that love is not something that you receive, it's something that you earn. D.W. Winnicott called this the false self, a version of you that's built for survival, not wholeness. And that version is still the one dating, still the one chasing, and still the one pretending. Chapter 2, the brain loves predictability. The craving to be chosen isn't just emotional, it's chemical. We're trained to associate uncertainty with intensity. Your brain lights up at the possibility of being picked, not because it's healthy, but because it feels familiar. The unpredictability mimics what love felt like early on to you. Unstable, conditional, and something to win. Your nervous system isn't searching for love, it's searching for familiarity. And if what's familiar is anxiety, distance, and mixed signals, that's what feels like love. This is intermittent reinforcement, a concept from behavioral psychology. When a reward is unpredictable, it actually releases more dopamine in your brain. This is the same loop that keeps people gambling, hoping that the next pull from a slot machine will beat the jackpot, just like checking your phone to see if they texted back. You're not chasing love, you're chasing the possibility of a reward, that maybe this time you'll finally win it. You're not falling for them, you're falling for the chemistry of confusion. Meanwhile, your anterior cingulate cortex, the part of your brain that processes social pain, is firing like you've been physically hurt. You think it's heartbreak, but your brain thinks it's survival. Chapter 3, chaos feels like home. And this is why when someone offers you steady love, you back away. Because chosen love, real love, the kind of love that stays, doesn't register. It's not thrilling, it's not dramatic, and it doesn't prove anything. Your nervous system still thinks love is being picked out of a crowd. This is polyvagal theory. When your body is used to danger, calmness feels like a trap. You say you want something consistent, but in the moment that they show up fully, you push them away. Because peace doesn't feel peaceful, it feels fake. You were trained to brace for impact. Now when it doesn't come, your brain calls it boring. So you run back to the storm, because you've confused adrenaline with intimacy. Chapter 4, fixing them is a distraction from you. There's a reason why broken people feel like home. When your sense of self is shaped around fixing what's fractured, love starts to feel like a project, not a place to rest. You chase the one who won't open up, the one who ghosts and then returns, the one who lives in fragments. Not because you see them clearly, but because you see yourself in the chaos. It's not really about loving them, it's about repairing something inside of you. You think that if you can finally make them choose you, you'll be enough. That if you can fix them, then maybe your past will become redeemable. But this isn't love, this is emotional alchemy, trying to transform pain into proof. Carl Jung said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. You don't want love, you want to be the one who rescued love, who made the emotionally unstable stay. You proved you were worthy by doing the impossible. But their healing is not your proof. Their damage is not your job. Chapter 5, you're loving a symbol, not a person. Being chosen isn't just about the relationship. It's about the performance. You want the image of being chosen, the public proof. You're not asking, am I loved? You're asking, do people think that I'm worth loving? You don't want just love. You want love that's visible, validated, and verified. You want love that wins the comparison game, because when others see you as chosen, maybe you'll finally see yourself that way too. You post a happy couple photo, not because you're happy, but because it proves you were picked. You don't need the relationship to feel good. You need it to look good. You're not asking, are we safe? You're asking, do we look like a win? And deep down you know, the more perfect the post, the more fragile the reality. Philosopher Soren Kierkegaard said that the self isn't a thing, but a relation, a performance between how we see ourselves and how others see us. So when the relationship gets rocky, you overcompensate online, not to fix the love, but to protect the image of it. Because for the ego, being perceived as chosen matters more than being actually connected. And sometimes the person you're chasing isn't even real. Jacques Lacan said that we don't desire things, we desire what we lack. Baudrillard said, much of modern love is just a copy of a copy, a simulation. Think of the moment you see your ex post a photo of someone new. They look effortlessly happy. You want them again. Not because of who they are, but because of what the image represents. Being desired, being validated, and being missed. So maybe you're not in love with them. You're in love with what their love would mean about you. You're not chasing a person, you're chasing a fantasy of finally being enough for someone impossible to impress. They're not your soulmate, they're a screen. And you've mistaken attention for depth. Chapter 6, the rehearsal of real love. What if everything you've been through wasn't proof that you're broken, but practice for something better? What if all the failed relationships, the confusion, the chase, were actually just rehearsals for real love that doesn't require performance? The philosopher Martha Nussbaum wrote that vulnerability is the soil of human connection. It's not something to be erased through success, but embraced through honesty. Neuroscience agrees when we feel emotionally safe, our brain shifts out of survival mode and into receptivity. Our heart rate slows, our prefrontal cortex re-engages, we become able to connect without calculation. You don't heal by being chosen, you heal by realizing you were never unworthy to begin with. And from that place, something really radical happens. You begin to love people not because they chose you, but because they see you. Chapter 7, peace is the final form of love. The hardest thing about real love is that it doesn't make you feel like you've won. It makes you feel safe. And for someone who's always associated love with being picked, that can feel deeply, deeply uncomfortable. To want peace, you have to let go of the chase. To be loved, you have to stop trying to be chosen. Simone Weil said that attention is the rarest and most purest form of love. Real love isn't dramatic, it's still, it's uncomplicated, it's present. In Buddhism, clinging causes suffering. True connection arises when you stop grasping. Love isn't something you win, it's something you recognize. And when it shows up, it might feel unfamiliar, but unfamiliarity doesn't mean it's wrong. It just means that you're healing. Video's over. I appreciate you watching. I'm releasing these rings really soon. If by the time you're seeing this video, they should be out tomorrow, Tuesday, April 22nd.
I literally cast them and make them myself, and it's jewelry based on the virtues that I'm talking about slow love, about real connections, about being anti-hookup culture. I'm really, really excited about it. I'll play a commercial right now.
I just dropped a new ring. Vines knotted together, still, unmoving, like it's been waiting. I only made 100 because I literally make them myself, carving into silver like I'm shaping a statue. Because love should be handmade. Slow. For the ones who still believe in that.